Welcome to A Marriage Like That podcast. I am your host, the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan from thescenesnobs.com, and with me, as always, I could not do this show without her.
Literally.
Mrs. Scene Snob, Mary the Mommy.
Well, hello. Hello again. It's been a while.
It has been. It's been 26 days since our last episode.
That's true. We've done some married movie challenges in the meantime, though, so it's not like we've taken a complete break.
That is true, and if you guys don't know, we do a show called Married Movie Challenge.
We do.
Where one of us picks our name out of a bowl.
Out of the bowl.
You always win. If we pick one of our names out of a bowl, that person chooses, that spouse, I should say, chooses which terrible movie we're going to watch that night. They haven't all been terrible, but they've been fun.
It started out with terrible ones, but then we kind of did a little motif each time, and I think it works. I like it. It's so fun. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy doing that.
I do too. So we should, you should definitely look out for that and keep going. But with the scenesnubs.com, we have a lot of new things in this time. We have Behind the Box, which is our new Cult Classics podcast.
Which is a great podcast.
Yeah, Rob and I do it. For some of you who may not know, we also started the Pulling Focus podcast with myself and Brian Patrick from the Skyline Indie Film Festival.
Yep.
It's not a movie podcast per se, it's a filmmaking.
Right.
So we handle the industry things, like we talk about those, what's going on behind the scenes of movies, not just like what we like. So, they are very different in tone. So we have those two. We have a couple more going on.
Yep.
But life has kind of been changing. We've been getting some curveballs lately.
Yeah.
And so with a month out, and we haven't talked to our fans in such a long time.
No.
What's been going on?
Nothing much. I've been spending a lot of time around people lately, licking handles of things, touching my face a lot.
Well, then get out of my house.
No, I now am a 100% work from home mother.
Yeah.
It's been, last week, I have to say, was very stressful. Not knowing what was going to happen with schools, with the government, especially, specifically the DC area where I work and commute to and from. But seeing all of these schools and businesses and, things close down, delay, what have you, and then, just go into the weekend with that, it was very, very stressful. My anxiety I will say it was higher last week than it was this week, knowing now that, I have the option to telework. I am extraordinarily thankful, and I feel very blessed to be able to telework. Mm-hmm. My heart keeps going out, or my head keeps thinking about, my heart keeps going out to those the wage workers, restaurant, just all these people who are, even landlords. I mean, I've seen a lot of, rent freeze requests, protest type of things go out, but, we're in a rental, so I think about our landlord. I mean, what if we did put a rent freeze out across the country? What would the landlords do? The small landlords.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a tough situation, and, we didn't mention it when we started, but of course anybody who listens to this knows what we're talking about, but it's the coronavirus, COVID-19.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic right now and sweeping the nation.
Literally.
I hate to or sweeping the globe, as I should say.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make light of it. It's pretty crazy, pretty devastating. I think last week was a lot more stressful for most, because it was even it's got to be like for the wage workers and things like that, because, well, no, I got to take that back, because there's so much happening now. Like, we thought only like a day or two ago, at least we can support doing takeout for restaurants, like for our small business friends and things like that, and try and help them anyway. But it seems like it's just closings now.
Yeah.
And the thing I think that drives me nuts, my opinion on it, is because it's the people who didn't take this seriously.
Right. Still aren't.
And still
aren't.
But they will still go out in droves, and yes, it's great if it's giving business to somebody.
Right.
But now it's gotten to a point where they've had to enact closings
right.
and these businesses are now going to hurt.
Right.
So was it in the end worth having big rushes, whereas maybe we could have kept them open? Because even in China and Wuhan, stores were open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people would go to work to open their stores, and it was just that everybody else stay off unless you're going to pick something up.
Right.
You know, it's takeout. You know, from everything I've seen and read. I mean,
Right.
if that's untrue, I'm sorry,
Sure.
but I have read that that was true.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that's the way it would be here, but even like in New York, like New Jersey, putting in a curfew
Yeah.
is crazy to me. Like, I'm not saying it's not warranted. I'm just saying
Correct.
it's crazy to think about. You know, and that's only like 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Right.
So you still have all day. So what happens there?
Right.
But then you have, you know, like other states like Illinois, Ohio, things like that, completely closing these service industries down. What do you do? You said earlier that a mutual friend of ours had lost his job because
Yeah.
DC's mayor stepped in and said close all restaurants and
Yeah.
such, and he worked at one,
Right.
and they were just like, well, we have to cut you.
Yeah.
He was like, we can't afford it.
Yep.
You know, if you're not making any money, you know, you can't pay. So it's a sad state of affairs. It's crazy. I don't know
It's
what's going to
crazy.
happen. You know, it's such a crazy, like, I'm hoping something good comes from this. Maybe now that we've experienced it, once we can get past it,
Right.
and we get to a point, we can start thinking about the workforce in general
Right.
and how to make it work,
Right.
you know, more efficiently.
Right.
I don't have those answers. I just
No. And you know, I think again, going back to the anxiety and the panic last week, you know, and just not knowing, I was very frustrated personally. You know, I am a federal worker, and I felt that, you know, politics aside, from all corners, from federal, state, local, whatever, there were so many mixed messages. You know, I didn't know what to think. And, you know, if anybody who personally knows me knows that I am a very worried, anxious, overreactor, you know, overprotective, whatever kind of person. You know, and so I told you 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3, I said, listen, we need to go to Costco, you know, we only got one
yeah.
pack or, you know, whatever they're called, of toilet paper, paper towel, and tissues at least. You know, I kind of wish I would have gotten a bottle, just one, of hand sanitizer to keep in the car because we have kids.
Yeah.
You know, and last week we still were living and going out places, you know, but because I knew that at some point people were going to lose their minds out of worry, because that's what I would have done had we not done that before. And we out of abundance of caution or whatever, we were like, you know what, let's just make a really large grocery order. We know that we'll eat it anyway, you know, but just in case, you never know. And now I'm so relieved. You know, there's been one more thing, there's been a couple of people who have posted things along the lines of, if we overreact now, we may not ever know that it was an overreaction. But if we don't do enough, it will be blatantly obvious that we didn't. And so I am always going to go with, not panicked, but err on the side of caution.
Yeah, and I mean, like with the toilet paper situation, yeah, you did. You went out and bought a big bag of it from Costco, and I got it. You know, I understood, but like my thinking of when you went out and got that, I was like, it's because it's gonna go,
Right.
and we're gonna need it.
Right.
So this isn't even basically like, a lot of people are just like, all right, why is everybody buying up toilet paper? That is a valid question, like, but because it's the first thing that people are buying.
Right.
We bought it because we didn't want to run out and not
Right.
have any, you know? So, so yeah, I mean, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, in a weird way, the whole toilet paper deal.
Crazy.
But yeah, it is, I mean, it's so crazy. It really is. Like, I don't want to put anybody down, but like, in terms of like, the officials, the government officials that have been handling this, but I felt like we were getting such mixed signals from different areas, and I mean, it's not a matter of getting political or bashing anybody. I don't want to do that. That's not what this show is about. If I want to do that, I'll make a whole new show for that. But it's more. But like, if when your president's telling you one thing, and then directly right after, his appointed medical personnel is saying, "Yeah, no, this is going to be a big problem." Like, you get. It makes you nervous and it gives you those anxieties, and I feel for people who definitely, I know anxieties, and I had fears and such, and especially with going to school, because like what can be caught there, and what's going to happen, and like you going to work, and like what's going to happen there, like
taking mass transit, to get there.
Yeah, so it was a scary situation, but I mean, I don't think I felt the anxiety away like a lot of people did, and I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and she was talking about how her anxiety was really hitting her today, because I mean she's a wage worker as well, and I believe because she does a few things, so like I mean some of it might be salary, some of it might be wage. I don't want to talk for her on that, but I understand the fear. Yeah. What do you do? Like I mean. Yeah. You work in that industry and it's closing down. It's being told you can't be open. And the numbers that were being thrown at us. Because again, what was it? Last Wednesday it was you can't be in a gathering of 500 people or more. Then last Friday it was 250 or more.
Right.
And then Sunday it was 50 or more. And then today it was 10 or more. Like that's a huge drop.
Right.
I mean, 1 in 10 people gets the coronavirus. So like that's on a scale of like herpes in a weird way. Like I mean, it was at 1 in 3, but like like to the point
where
it's
it might be 1 in 2. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't exactly know.
Did you know that 49% of statistics are made up on the spot?
Oh God. Well, I'm not making this up. They were saying it on the news. And there's no way news is fake. So,
sorry.
Now, on the other hand, I don't want to bash certain people or their belief system, but like I'll bash the media.
Yeah. No, and but the media, like now, it's not just reporting facts, reporting statistics, reporting things that are true. It is to sensationalize. It is like they are fear mongers. It doesn't matter which one you watch. It is ridiculous, and because now news is available 24 hours a day. I mean, you have it on the TV. You have it on. You can stream it. You can YouTube it. You can have updates on your phone. Like last week, I felt like I would watch it on TV and I would be checking on my phone, and it was literally every moment. I had to know what was going on. Yeah. I had to know the moment there was an update. And after a while, I felt myself starting to literally, I could feel it in my shoulders. I could feel it in my neck.
You got sick last week.
Yeah.
You had for a sty on your eye caused by stress.
Yep.
I remember that because you woke up and you were just like, I can't go to work today. This is like a pain. I have to go to the doctor, and it was so crazy because after the kind of that stress was relieved a little bit, like it's gone down, like it's and you can see it. It's a noticeable difference. So it is amazing how your body's kind of like dealing with that stress.
Yeah.
And especially in a time like this, like again, we are in a fortunate enough situation, but it's heartbreaking to think of, kids are out of school who don't have this situation, or what's going to go on with people in their rent, and like. It's not to upset, but it is to make aware. And I want people who listen to be aware of it too. So make sure you're supporting small businesses if you can. When they open back up, go in there and buy from them.
Right. Even in the meantime, and the other thing I keep thinking about are the kids who, I mean, there's not so much anything we can do to the kids who are in abusive households where school is their only refuge or safe space. I think about the kids who school is the only place they're fed. I have seen a number of restaurants or businesses or, organizations who are banding together to make sure these kids are fed. So find out where in your community they are gathering food. When you're out grocery shopping for yourself, look at their wish list, grab a couple of things, and let's make sure that none of these children go hungry while we are keeping them home for their health.
There is a website that I saw in the news. I think it's feedamerica.com to help food banks respond to this, and more so to also help the children.
Okay.
And if
but
you
even
can,
anybody who's
but well, you can go on this site and find local.
oh no, that's
So
awesome.
that's why I
good.
wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
For anybody who's listening, like go on feedamerica.org,
Thank you.
and you can also go on and just Google like you go on there, you type in like school lunches for kids out of school, something like that, and it will give you information.
Yep.
And then please donate and help. Like we're
Yeah.
we want to help. Also, the scenesnobs.com. For anybody out there who has a small business, we're offering free advertising on any one of our shows, our website, or social media. We're happy to do it. We'll put your logo up on the videos.
Sure.
We'll talk about it on the podcast.
Yep.
So just message us, comment, whatever. Follow us at The Scene Snob on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or on YouTube. Or at Mary the Mommy, straight out of nap time.
Hey.
So
Keeping it real.
do that, if we can help in some way.
Yeah.
But like definitely go out there, go on different groups, find out what you can do to help, even from the comfort of your own home. Like, and I know it's a tough situation, and I kind of want to get into that too, because we're in this, it's a tough, and we can sit here and we can be upset about it all the time, but we can maybe also offer some entertainment.
Yeah,
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And maybe talk about some things like ideas, like what can we do while we're in isolation? What can people do? One idea I had, we haven't talked about it yet, but like maybe implementing a household Olympics.
Oh.
Come up with some games for the parents and the kids to play.
That's a great idea.
And we'll it's not an original idea. I got taken this from The Office. Remember when they did the Office Olympics episode?
Yep.
I mean, why not do it at home with your family? It might be fun. Other things like that. Like, I mean, we're still gonna have power. I know around here, the electric company is suspending any disconnections, things like that.
Water, it's actually, I think it's a county or something government mandated that they are suspending it. So it wasn't just our...
Good.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, and I hope we can find some relief, because the people who need the relief are the people.
Yeah.
Not just the small businesses, not the big businesses. The big businesses will make it.
Yeah.
They will 100% make it. But, the people need the help. And more so the people who aren't, like, again, we are fortunate enough. There's a lot of families that are fortunate enough to kind of do what they need to do and make it through. I'm talking about the people who don't.
Right.
And the kids who need the lunches and things like that. And, so hopefully we can find the higher-ups can find a way to help them, so... But while you're at home, make the best of it that you can. Mary went out and got some workbooks for the kids, and they've been loving them since.
Yeah, they were. We went to a local. I mean, it was a local Rite Aid. In the, it was like in where the card aisle is, where they have like the crayons and stuff. I got originally I had just gotten like a word search for our oldest. But they had preschool. I mean, Jack picked it over our youngest 3-year-old. Picked it over screen time. He was like, "No, I want to do my workbook."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, you do."
And then, just really excited. But even like when he did have some screen time today, he was doing the
words.
apps,
Yeah.
Because they're offering. There's a lot of business. ABC Mouse is offering free time. Just to help students along and kind of keep them engaged and educated through this. And so definitely go online and look up those things.
Yeah.
I know the company that does Clifford the Big Red Dog, they're offering all their books for free online.
Right.
You can go and check them out.
Oh, and then the Kennedy Center has that author. I'm never gonna remember his name.
Is it Al Willem or something like that?
Yeah. We'll look it up. But there's I know the Cincinnati Zoo at 1 p.m. Eastern Time is having Facebook Live where they will talk about specific animals and like go through with the trainers and things like that every day. I've recently seen, I think Chris Martin and John Legend are offering, they're going to be doing like concerts online.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I mean, you know, it's funny to think about. So before this, you know, I have seen a number of people on social media, you know, we talk about screen time, we talk about how we pay more attention to, so, you know, Twitter and Instagram and picking those things over actual social interactions. But I have found over the past couple of days that it has been a godsend having this outlet. You know, I don't think that it's something to joke about, especially thinking about those who are affected harder than we are, you know, people with autoimmune disorder or anybody who is high risk and losing their jobs now, not even health-wise. But, you know, looking at the funny stories and the jokes and being able to laugh and keep our sanity has been,
Yeah.
and being able to watch this kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, like, well, to give you, it was Willems.
Mo Wellham.
And he's from the Kennedy Center Education Artist in Residence. And he is inviting everybody at 1 p.m. Eastern to go on, follow the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts Facebook page. And it's called Lunch Doodles with Mo Willems. And so he's going to teach doodling and exploring new ways to write, how to draw, things like that. So go check that out. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So the Cincinnati Zoo live Facebook streaming is at 3 p.m. then.
Yeah.
That one
that was at 3 p.m.
1
today. But
yeah.
go check them out too. There's so
They're
many
doing it every
things
day,
being offered.
yeah.
I mean, it's so hopeful.
It is.
And I love to hear those things because it's, you know, and I equated this on a show the other day I was talking about to, as dark as and ominous as things kind of feel right now because everything's up in the air, and as isolated as everybody is, because, and it's a true testament to, as much as social media has torn so many down, I feel like in these times, it's kind of like what happened after 9/11. After 9/11, people, we couldn't count on a lot of things after 9/11. There was a lot of fear running around.
Yeah.
But people seem to want to support each other.
Yep.
And if that was a good feeling. That was a feeling we needed after such a dark time. And it kind of feels like that
Yeah,
now, especially from the social media aspect. Like they want to help. People just want to help each other.
Yeah.
And they want to explore their talents. And I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. I want
Yeah.
this to keep going. I hope this is a turning page
Yeah.
for the internet.
Right.
You know, where it's, you know, we can keep going this way. Because
I also wanted to say, you know, in addition to all of these learning opportunities or outlets and programs, you know, if you feel stressed, you know, if you are a parent who now is a stay-at-home parent or a work-from-home parent, if you're trying to work and manage your children, or if you just feel like it's too much to try and keep to the schedule, then just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to hurt in the long run. Then color with them, you know, bake, you know, do an activity. Don't worry about a schedule. Don't worry about, you know, keeping up with, because you did not go to school to be a teacher.
But it's also to help them because they're in stress times too,
Right.
and they don't really know what's going on. Our 3-year-old is even saying coronavirus.
Oh my gosh.
Not in a fearful way because he doesn't understand it, but
No.
he's saying it and he knows it's something that you can get.
Right.
So, like, to alleviate that fear, we're doing other things with them, or we're explaining, or you know, like, we're trying to shield them from it best we can, but, I mean, we need information too, so,
Right.
and we have to talk, so, sometimes it comes up, and you can't always wait till bedtime before something is said.
Right.
Or you hear something on the news or something, but, just let them be kids
Yeah,
too.
just
Yeah,
let them-
because they're
yeah.
going to be stressed as well. So, because
Yep.
if you're stressed, A, they notice you're stressed.
Yep.
B, they are stressed because they don't know. They don't fully understand that there's no school.
Right.
What's going on with my friends? What's happening?
Right. Why
What is
can't
a-
I play with my friends even?
What is a pandemic?
You know?
Why
Yeah.
can't I? Like, you can go outside and play, but why can't we
Right.
go to the park? Why
Right.
can't we go somewhere? Like, they don't understand that. So let them be kids and let them try something new. Just,
Yeah.
lay off of them.
Yeah.
Even if you're stressed, handle it another way.
Right.
I know with the scenesnobs.com, I want to kind of implement the thing where maybe daily I'll give movie recommendations.
Yeah.
Or binge TV show recommendations of things I like. And check them out and let's talk about them on the...
Right.
On social media, and then kind of start our own little film club.
Yeah.
Of people out there, and then just kind of like through
find
this
out what
time,
they think. Yeah.
Yeah, through this time, and then get recommendations from other people.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm trying the best I can.
Yeah, but you know what? You said try and let them be free. Give them a break. Be easy on them. Be easy on us, on yourself too. If we had a great morning. It started off great, day one, I had my schedule, we kept to it for the most part.
I even said, no yelling, I'm implementing a no yelling rule, and then like 2 hours later.
It was like 15 minutes later.
Oh, it was 2 hours, don't give me that.
No, so, but it's okay. By lunchtime, we really did just have an all-out screaming, and then you and I weren't even talking to each other for a little while after it. I mean, and it was day one. So, but then, we looked at each other and we realized, it's not going to get any better. We can't go anywhere. We have decided to self-quarantine ourselves and our kids for the foreseeable future. I mean, if schools are closed and the government is allowing 100% telework, we're not going anywhere. No. We're not hanging out with any of y'all. I love you. Let's get some FaceTime going on in here, but
nor should we. I mean, this should be a time where we do adopt the rule of not going out and the kind of isolating ourselves. Again, not for fear of catching it.
No.
We're kind of in that bracket of like,
Correct.
You're right, but like your parents, my parents,
right?
Your grandfather,
yeah.
Things like that.
Anyone else
aunts, uncles,
right.
anybody else, our neighbors.
Right.
Like, do you really want to take the
Someone
chance
in
of
the
giving
store?
it to them?
Right.
And
we don't know.
Granted, it's got very little connection to, or it does very little to children. But what if there's a child with a precondition?
Exactly.
Do you want to accidentally give it to them because you didn't know? Like, no. I think this is right. Like they said, to get that flatten out the curve. Yep. We need to follow the rules right now. We need to do what they're saying. Like, yes, I understand the mentality of, it's America, I'll go out and do whatever I want. Like, I had that mentality for years, but don't take anybody else out because you're stubborn,
Well, it's not just that, but there are people who cannot stay home. Firefighters, sanitation workers, news, like mailman. All of these mailmen and women, all of these professions. I mean, even some businesses, I've read a number of stories on Twitter where it was like, I have, XYZ condition and my work told me come in or quit, and what are, if you don't have that option, what are you going to do? So if you can be the one to stay home because those people can't, then stay home.
Yeah.
Don't take it as, well, they're going out, so I'm going to go out. No, just, be that one to take one for the team. Let's take a step back, let those people out, and just minimize it.
Well, it's like those pictures you were showing me from, like, the beach and Florida, and then you had the people at Disney before that closed. Like,
even thinking about our old town.
Like, nobody... Yeah. They got so fed up that the St. Patrick's Day parade was canceled that they decided to kind of like have their own, like, let's get crazy St. Patrick's Day, and there was like hundreds of people out, and it's like, what?
That was what, right?
I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
And
not in a judge. I mean, it is what it is, But again, that was how many days ago, and how much has changed since then?
Yeah.
That still was where it was like, well, I'm okay, But now, like today, I mean, Ireland closed their bars for St. Patrick's Day. Like, this is serious.
It is very serious. And it's kind of nerve-wracking in a way, because you don't know what you're going to get when you go out there. I just, but like, again, at the same time, we need to stay optimistic. Everybody needs to kind of stay optimistic and make the best of what they're doing. So, like, again, like, what movies can you watch or catch up on? Like, one big thing, I think you brought it to my attention, or somebody did. Yeah, it was on the radio when we were driving, and you were like, "Oh, that's cool. Listen to this," and it was.
No, I read it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Universal Studios is releasing their movies that have come out in theaters the past few weeks, and the ones that are coming out in theaters the next couple of weeks after that, for rent the same day that they come out in theaters. So like these are brand new movies,
And Disney let Frozen 2 come out early.
just to kind of like help people
Yeah.
like want to stay home, like the kids to watch it or whatever. And
awesome stuff.
it is. I mean, if it takes off and they keep doing this afterwards, it's going to have heavy effects on the movie theater industry, and that kind of frightens me a little bit, because I would hate to see movie theaters go away.
Yeah.
But for right now, it is a welcome respite or just like a distraction, if you will.
But I think that it's, and I may, and I've never said this to you, and I may piss you off, I don't know, but like, I think about it as, we still have drive-ins, not nearly as many as we should because it's an amazing experience. But if you think about places like the Alamo, you know, we don't go to the Alamo to watch a movie. We go to have an experience.
Yeah.
You know, I think for too long, movie theaters, because the money doesn't go where it needs to go, and the tickets and the prices for movies have been too ridiculous for too long, in my opinion. So I think, hey, we're changing. You know, I think I would be okay if normal movie theaters, of course, thinking, you know, again, I hurt for the workers and the little people who would be affected. Little people, but, you know.
Not little people, but like
the lower tiered workers, hard workers. I mean, those are the hardest, anyway.
The hardest soul of it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the people who are on the front line of that experience.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up going to movies. I mean, that was one of the things that connected us, you know, was our love for movies. But again, I think...
good movies and you bad movies.
Shut up. But I think, you know, the drive-ins haven't completely been obliterated. You know, places like the Alamo where it's a dine, you know, themed or a community type deal, not just a normal run-of-the-mill, you know, money-making movie theater type of thing.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with them kind of getting...
Let me ask you this, because we live near a drive-in theater, and we've gone a few times, and it's a fun experience. I've always liked it because it's like, to me, you know, as much as I love going to a movie theater, and yes, the Alamo is an experience, and if I want to have a nice date night, that's a great experience. Sometimes I want to go to that Cineplex, you know, tiles falling from, you know, and the sticky floors and all that stuff, and the ripped screen, like, for that experience. And then, you know, just as a movie fan, and then, you know, going to the drive-in is another piece of Americana experience. So I love it. I realize it's not the perfect, it's the atmosphere. So it's not the perfect technological advancements there. It's the atmosphere you're getting. And you connect with people. Somewhat. Maybe not in these times, but right now, a lot of family drive-ins, it's called a family drive-in, but like a lot of drive-in theaters are taking advantage of what's going on, and I don't think in a bad way.
No, they should.
You know, it's just for years it's always been like, how do we get people out here? And now something that they can use as a marketing tool is, you know, well, you have perfect social distancing in your own car.
Right. You don't even have to get out. Right.
You know?
Yeah. Bring your own food. I mean, you have to pay a certain fee at our local one. I'm not sure how all of them work, but I would be 100% fine with paying that extra fee, bringing our own little picnic.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to get anything. It's nice to get something from, you know, the snack bar, but we don't have to.
But even now they have that app ordering and they bring it out to you.
Right.
So like it's still kind of like, it'd be the same as we were going to a drive-through or something, but So a lot of people have been like, well, how could you take advantage of this? It's tough times. You take advantage of the theaters having to close. And it's like, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, for years they've been overshadowed by like these new
Right.
movie theaters coming in with like tables and big meals and things like that they can't, contend with. Let them have this. This is a good marketing
Yep.
tool. Like, hey, you are in your own car, so you're not
Yep.
near anybody. Come see a movie. Enjoy
I
the
think we
drive-in.
should go one day this week.
I agree.
Just pack the van, show our tickets up against the window.
Yeah.
We don't even have to talk to anyone.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I am definitely all for it. And so like that's a big thing for me. But like just like the movie, because I know this is more about the marriage side of things, but like thescenesnobs.com, you want to talk about the movie, so like that's been a big thing. Like it's sad to see movie theaters closing down or canceling things. Like we were sponsors of
Lost Weekend.
Lost Weekend, which is a film festival that goes on here in Winchester, Virginia.
Originally, it was a weekend, Lost Weekend, and then they were going to spread it out over a couple of weekends.
Like a month, so
yeah.
everything could be spread out in a certain way, and then they just ultimately realized like it's going to lose the heart of it.
Yeah.
Let's postpone it, and it's sad. I will be there for them when they're ready.
Yep.
But it just it's tough to see right now. Like it's so weird to me because movie theaters were always that thing that didn't close.
Right.
In the case of a crisis, like it didn't close. It was there for your entertainment.
Yeah.
365.
Check out for a couple hours. Go into a fantasy world.
Yeah.
I mean that is the ultimate staycation. If you will.
It's the ultimate. Yeah, definitely. It was anybody could do it.
Yeah.
But it is just crazy to me that bars are closed, because that was another one that was like the getaway for people. But like bars closing down, restaurants closing down, movies closing down. Like I really hope this. I don't want. I keep trying to avoid saying blow over quick.
Yeah.
Because it's a pandemic. Like I don't want to make it feel like it's insignificant.
Right.
Like, this is something that will pass. Like, because I don't feel that way. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know.
And it's all up in the air. But like, I hope to God it blows over quickly.
Yeah.
Or they figure it out quickly, or do
Find a
whatever
cure. Find something to. I mean, and I'm not I'm not purposefully laughing, but in my head I'm like, the sentence that I was going to say was, or find something to stop it from spreading so quickly. But they have found something to stop. People need to stop going out.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Take care. Take care of yourself. Check on your elderly neighbors. If they don't know how to order groceries online, write it down. Send them. I found a couple of blank note cards. I'm gonna write snail mail letters to people. I'm going to find ways to sanely fill my time. I made a quote unquote to-do list of a lot of things, some small, some kind of bigger projects that I wanted to do around the house, but I called it a wish list, because I didn't want there to be pressure on me that I had to finish this by the time, things kind of went back to normal.
But when is normal coming? We don't even know.
And will it ever be normal? I mean, they're talking now that it could go through what? June
or August.
August? I mean, and if that's the case, are the kids gonna, actually do? I mean, I know some kids are doing an actual online learning. We haven't we are doing our own, trying to keep up with it, but
I think the school is working on that though. They're taking this week to work on.
But what about the lower income people, that don't, or the working parents? What if the working parents now can't put their kids in daycare, have to stay home, have to lose their jobs? Are they going to lose their house? And then they're homeless, and now that whole family, kids included, are lost. Sorry, I don't want to.
It's a reality that exists, and again, but we can't harp on this. We gotta be hopeful. We gotta.
Yes.
We got to make people feel better. So I do want to switch gears a little bit.
All right, let's do that.
And kind of go into something else, which is your pain in the assery earlier.
Language, first of all.
No, it's a real. It's Latin. It means you kept messing with me and annoying me.
And
Earlier.
it's fun how the tides have turned.
No, you.
Yes.
For one, kept stealing my pillow.
Mick Manhattan. Yes, I did, and it was an example of how it feels when you kept making innuendos around the children, and I kept saying, "Okay, it's time to stop. Okay, it's time to stop," and you just would not stop. So I turned the tables around on you, and I found something that got your goat, and I kept doing it, and it didn't like it, did ya?
Well, first of all, when you say innuendos around the children, I was talking to you while the children were off doing something. Yes, they were in the room. They didn't have any clue to what I was saying, and
Tommy
I was whispering it to
bull baloney.
It's not baloney.
All right.
And no idea what I was talking about. And you took it way too far by stealing my pillow. I was trying to take a nap.
All right, well then, using another example, what about other times when you make jokes and take things too far? That was one of the original inside jokes when I first met you. No one can beat a dead horse like Mick Manhattan can.
Well, thank you, my dear. I've always hated that term, and it's not true.
Really yeah, it doesn't really fit.
Yeah, I don't beat a dead horse.
No, I mean it fits for what you do, but like the saying itself doesn't fit for what it means.
Yes, it does, because it's dead. Why would you keep beating it? It works. It's a good metaphor. You're a ruiner of metaphors.
I just ruin everything. I ruined your nap.
You did. You really ruined. And we're in isolation time. I'm like, come on. I was like, I was editing a show earlier and posting it, and I'm just like, I want to take a nap. And he just had to keep pulling the pillow out from underneath my head. And
I had a great time. That was very fun for me.
So my biggest thing on this takeaway would be, you need to learn to apologize. Because you have not been a great apologizer.
So, going back to the earlier conversation that we had, I, without any request or initiation at all, I will apologize when I have done something wrong, or when I'm wrong, or when I'm in the wrong, or when I have said something wrong, even remotely. However, I would be still more than happy
I've never heard you say the words, I apologize.
No, but I've said, I'm sorry. That is, you are not, first of all, are not going to get me.
I almost tricked you into saying it
again.
That would have been the third time in like 2 days I've tricked
That's
you into
because
saying
I am
sorry
a
to me.
sweet person, and you are a heel that keeps trying to get me. That's why I take your pillow.
Nah.
That's why.
That was fantastic. I did almost trick you, and this whole conversation was just to try and get you to trick you to apologize for me. Apologize to me. But
see, again, it wouldn't be an actual apology. It would just be me saying the words.
Very funny there. Well, let me ask you this. Just kind of, again, switch gears and kind of go to a happy place. And what are some books, some movies, some TV shows, websites, whatever, if you will, or even hobbies that you are going to do during this isolation period?
I am going to watch How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay. Listen, first of all, I know you've watched that show before.
I haven't, I'm not up to date on it, but I did start watching it. No, I mean, so I'm going to continue with my cookie decorating hobby that I have grown quite fond of. You know, with everything that went on last week and my incessant need to keep looking at the news all the time, I definitely was late to the game for St. Patrick's Day cookies. But, you know, I made some dough earlier and gonna cut a couple of 4-leaf clovers, and actually I think my cookie cutout is a 3-leaf, but, you know, I don't know.
Shamrock.
3-leaf, no, I know. I know what it's called. But again, I made the list of projects that I want to do. You know, I want to clean out the garage.
Which means
I want
cleaning out the garage.
Yeah, I want to give the boys their own rooms, so we have some switching to do. Kind of weed out some of the toys.
I don't think that's going to go well.
Whittle it down.
I just like I cannot see it go well. But
It's happening.
I mean, I have tons of stuff I want to watch and do, and it's all about content right now
Right.
for the scenesnubs.com. So I will be doing lots of shows, and I'm going to do my daily journal of having to deal with you guys for all that time.
Okay. Did you know that there was a spike in China for divorce rates after people were coming out of quarantine?
Yeah, because they're driving each other crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We all know. We know what's happening.
Yeah.
And don't look at me with them eyes. That's on you. I am.
Do you want another shovel?
No, I'm not excited for what's happening, but I do like the idea that I know my family is safe and they're with me. We are going to have to find. I might spend a lot of time in my office. You know, I have to clean it out. I've got to do some stuff in here and set it up a little bit. So, but people need breaks. And I think that's something we need to convey too. Like, husbands and wives are going to need breaks from each other. And when you're stuck in the same house, try and find it any way you can. Oh my God, are you shutting down because you're mad about that?
No, I need a break right now.
Oh God, that's fair. I think we've reached the end of our.
No, I do agree with that though. I do think that there needs to be solo activities. You know, I think you need to take care of the kids for a little while I take a break and.
Sure. Is that what it is? Okay.
And I will continue to watch the kids while you do your thing.
Well,
as well.
That's partnership, isn't it, my dear?
It is.
But with that being said, I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
You know, before I take you upstairs and kiss your face hole.
No.
Yep.
6 feet.
For other people,
6
not
feet
for your
apart.
husband. No, you gotta stay.
Yeah, that is. Listen, I will take that guidance for as long as I. No, I'm just kidding.
Kiss those, smooch those lips of yours. All right, no.
I want to kiss you all over. Oh.
That song used to drive you crazy. Yeah, but you sang it out of tune anyway, so it worked.
That was perfect. That was perfect. I could be a recording artist if I wanted to.
Sure.
That's what I'm going to take up. That's the hobby I'm going to take up. I'm going to start singing.
So this is a Marriage Like That podcast, and I am your host, Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and this is my co-host on this journey of marriage and parenthood and everything in between. My dear Mary the mommy.
Yep. Soon to be a platinum recording artist.
Oh God, you can't use my mics.
I will use whatever mics. Hey, it's a partnership, babe. Marriage, 50-50. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, that's our show.
Yep.
No, we're going to try and do some more, especially while we're stuck in isolation. And maybe, who knows, we'll be trying to kill each other by the next one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll definitely try and get that on a video podcast.
Of course. But until then, we're going to probably do a lot more married movie challenges.
Yep.
And we have tons more content on the scenesnobs.com, thescenesnobs.com. So make sure you go and check it out. Check out all our shows. Make sure you give us likes and subscribes and follows. And we are at the Scene Snob for social media. And we're at Mary the Mommy. If you type that in, you'll see straight out of nap time. And that is her. So until next time.
Until then.
Tune in, enjoy, and try and stay sane in these crazy, crazy times.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Take care.